Hey guys, thanks for joining us for another outdoor adventure here on KrawlZone. Today we are here in southern Utah for the winter 4x4 Jamboree. We're taking on Milts Mile, a couple of fun obstacles and some dunes with the Dixie Four Wheel Drive group. And you're going to see all that here in this episode of KrawlZone. Today we are out here on Milts Mile, one of the most known and recognized trails here in Sand Hollow State Park here in southern Utah. And with me is Milt Thompson, the general manager of Dixie Four Wheel Drive. Now, Milts Mile was blazed by your dad.
By my dad, yep.
That's right.
And we got the Jeep, the original Jeep, on the trail with us today.
And you're going to be able to see that original Jeep that blazed this trail, and a lot of your family and a lot of the rigs that have been built by the Dixie Four Wheel Drive guys. And you're going to see it here on KrawlZone. This episode of KrawlZone is brought to you by TerraFlex. Get the TerraFlex advantage today. Now, we love being on the trail, but it takes a lot of work to get us here, and we'd like to thank those who have made it possible. Here's a message from our sponsors.
Hello everybody, I'm Dan Mick of Dan Mick's Guided Jeep Tours. My son Richard and I run the business. You can bring your own vehicle, you can ride with us, or you can get a rental Jeep from one of the guys in town, and we'll go out and have a good time. We'll show you some of the most incredible scenery around here in the Moab area. We'll show you what Moab has. You can ride with us on a half-day tour, full-day tour, or sunset tour. We've got family rates that are easy. We sell the tour by the vehicle load. So, you know, if it's just two of you, you and your wife, you don't go get anybody else. It's a private, personalized tour for you, and that's what people like. But if you've got mom, dad, grandpa and grandma, and two kids, we can still fit all those in there at the same one-person price. #1 on TripAdvisor. Check us out there. Come on to Moab. We'll enjoy your company.
Dixie Four Wheel Drive, how it got started was my mom and dad were actually a mechanic shop at the original time. Small town mechanic. St. George really didn't have a lot to offer. At the time they started, Jeeping wasn't Jeeping. Jeeping was dirt roading, you know, a lot. Not that it's not still, but it's progressed into a lot more than just Jeeping, rock crawling, all that. We were mechanics, and as I came into the picture, I loved the Jeeps, and we just really pushed the rock crawling side of it.
It is a Jeep shop now, four-wheel drive shop, not exclusively Jeep, but mostly Jeep. We'll still try to provide service for all of our customers regardless of what type of four-wheel drive they have, but our specialty is mostly in the Jeep, particularly the newer Jeeps. We try to take care of any needs the customer has, and if we can't take care of it, we try to find somebody that can take care of them.
Well, all right, Bryce, we are excited to see this trail. Will you guide us through it?
Yeah, let's get started. It's getting a little weird guiding Dan first. Dan Mick on the trail with us. That's gonna be fun.
So we've got Dan Mick on the trail of Dan Mick's Guided Jeep Tours over in Moab. Now, he's usually guiding trails. You're one of the few people who's gonna guide him.
Yep, let's do it.
All right, take it away.
The original Milts Mile was about a true mile. My dad had a whole group of friends. You know, it used to be Blazers and Willys and CJs and full-size pickups, and they were always breaking down. You know, they're not like the Jeeps today where they got chromoly axle shafts, this, and you know. The trail itself was a mile, but there was a flat section in it that we missed today, but it's, you know, it's just kind of boring. And we, my dad and I came back out, you know, 2 years ago, or it would have been about 3 years ago, and added a new section. We dropped in because it's fully open out here, so we added a new section of the trail, and that really spiced up the mile, made it a lot more fun, and gave you a little. So it's really Milts Mile with the extra on it, but Milts Mile, it's there.
I am here with Milt Thompson of Dixie Four Wheel Drive on Milts Mile. What's it like to have a trail named after you, and how did you get it done? Because I want to like a trail of my own.
Well, I didn't have the intention to have it named after me. Actually, a friend in Cedar City by the name of Tom Barcune that helped us build the trail is the one that coined the trail name for it. And so it kind of stuck.
Right on. So what was the process, and how did you go about blazing this trail we're on?
Well, years ago when they developed this area, the Sand Hollow Recreation Area, I had an opportunity to sit on the steering committee. And the meeting, they told us that this area, they laid out a map and said within this boundary is going to be open OHV. You can go anywhere in here that you want. And we said, define anywhere. Is there plant, mineral, animal, park ranger, anything that are off limits? Of course, the park rangers weren't real happy about being under wheels. So, but they said anything in this area was fine to drive on. And so after that, we started coming out and running as often as we could and looking for areas to do trails. And some of the objective was to have a trail that pretty much everybody could enjoy, but it was still hard enough for the guys that wanted to wheel hard would have a challenge. And that's one of the reasons behind the mile is it's got bypasses on most of the big obstacles so that people, if they're not comfortable with it, can go around them. And if they want to try it, there's stuff all the way up through it. They can play just as hard as they want.
All right, you're good. All the way driving. We just finished up the famous crack on Milts Mile. We're about halfway up. We're gonna get going. There's another big group, and there's a lot of more good stuff ahead. Let's do it.
We're here with Charlotte, Milt's wife, and are you co-founder of Dixie Four Wheel Drive?
That is correct.
All right, so you guys have been here for a long time.
A long time.
Tell us about how trails out here got started.
We were doing automotive. We had our Jeep for a long time. Well, the county decided to make this into a open OHV. That means you can do anything you want on this property. So he sat in on the planning committees. They said, yes, you can go start making trails. Milt was out here making trails. His first one was Milts Mile, so they named it after him. The next one was Slip Lock, and they named that after my son Jeremy because his locker was slipping. And then they did West Rim because it's out on the west part of the sand dunes. So that's how they got those three first names, and those are some of the first names that they started out here.
This is a real unique area. There's very few places like this in the country that have this open designation where you can run and enjoy as much of it as you can here.
All right, we're at the big wedge on Milts Mile. You notice you got the upside down Jeep. The easy way is that way. We're gonna come in here and have some fun. Looking at this obstacle, you think you'd wanna get to the left. Get to the left, you're gonna be in the side of your Jeep on the right. You wanna put two tires up on that and keep it up on that. You crawl, it's like any crack. You keep it nice and square, it'll keep you there and you won't tip over. I'll hopefully show you how to do it.
It's a beautiful day here in southern Utah for the winter 4x4 Jamboree, and we've decided to stop by our friends here at Dixie Four Wheel Drive and see what they've been cooking up. Well, come on in, let's check it out. Hey Tara, how you doing?
Hey Nathan, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic.
Good.
Is Bryce around?
Yeah, what are we grabbing for you?
Thank you. Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
Good, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm fantastic. We come to check out some stuff. I hear you got a fantastic Jeep I want to check out, and I want to see what your shop's about.
Yeah, we got a 10th anniversary. We just finished doing a custom double triangulated with a coilover and a bypass shock on. You'll like it.
Right on, right on. We can't
go
wait.
show it.
Hey, come on, let's go.
Well, this is where the magic happens.
Right on.
Nathan, meet Dr. J. Jeremy.
Hey, Jeremy, how you doing?
Good, how are you doing?
Fantastic. So Bryce tells me that you've taken this 10th anniversary Rubicon and built it up right there. Is that right?
Yep, I've done everything to it here. Let me show you a few things we did on it.
All right.
Yeah, so we built this Jeep about a year ago for this guy. He wasn't really sure what he wanted, so we did a stage 1 build, new bumpers, sliders, Terra 60 CRD axles, 40-inch tires. Drove it around, realized wasn't quite enough. So we brought it back in. We just barely did a custom Dixie Four Wheel Drive, long travel, triple bypass, coilovers, used TerraFlex long arm suspension system. Has an Atlas transfer case in it. The rear, we did a Dixie Four Wheel Drive custom double triangulated 4-link with coilovers and bypasses back there as well. CRD 60 rear and Genrite aluminum bumpers, whole 9 yards. So we just got back from finishing our first test run, and man, everything worked great. Little spring rate tuning, shock valve adjustment. Other than that, she's ready to go.
Well, she looks fantastic. Looks like you've done a great job.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
So let's go take you out on our playground.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hey there, I'm Fred Castro with 212 Performance Gloves. This is our brand new line of touchscreen gloves. We've got high dexterity, touchscreen compatible, works in hot conditions, cold conditions, anytime. We've also got our grip version. Grips 3 to 4 times the strength of a normal grip, and also has touchscreen capabilities, best on the trail and on the job site.
Tell me what it was like as a kid growing up with your dad, Milt, out here in this landscape making these trails.
You know, honestly, at a young age, I was a lot like my nephews and nieces that are out here. We were, plowing trails wasn't fun. You know?
Really?
As much as everyone thinks it's just a blast, it's so much more fun to go to a place that's organized, it's ready to go, you know? And it was fun, but it took the fun out of it. When it really got into it when I was about 8, I got to just drive, you know? So that was everything. I couldn't drive on a street, but I could drive the little wheelies through everything. Oh, look at this little 8-year-old kid driving a manual up this, you know? That was the real fun of growing up as it got older, you know? But as for plowing trails, it's not quite what it would, what you think it would be. And it's not nearly as much. The dunes have changed. They put the lake in, added some more access. The dunes have really changed since the lake's gone in. The sand's blowing around. It's given us a lot more rock crawling. It's fun.
We'd like to give a shout out to Axial, who's provided this rate for us here on the KrawlZone Network for us to have a little good time. We'd also like to announce a new show we're developing on the KrawlZone Network called KrawlZone RC, where we're going to bring you the best of RC rock crawling.
This one's my mom. It's the Powder Puff Jeep, all girls.
You know, so much we hear about off-roading that everybody thinks, oh, that's a man's job, or that's what men like to do. But so often as we get out and about, we find it's a family affair. And we see that here with your family, as we've been out wheeling today with your mom, your dad, you, your brothers and sisters. And why do you think that's important?
It's important because you need to spend family time. Right. And what's cool is it's not limited to one person. We have on the trail 2-year-olds out here with us, and then we have 68-year-olds with us. You know, and it's granted sometimes money helps. You can do bigger and badder stuff, but really, we played on these trails with open lockers, and you know, been able to come out, and it's just cool to see that any age can do it, and that's why family's involved. You know, you can bring the little kids. The 4-door really helped that. Nice and slow, a little bit passenger. You didn't listen. There you go. There you go. Nice. So another girl driving the Jeep. This is my brother, his shop foreman's wife, driving his Jeep up this. Got an LS1 and it's a little fun. A little bit that way, right there. Hey, back this way a little bit more. Just like that. Just like that, keep it like that. Keep it like that. Go back driver just a little bit. Just like that. Nice, a little more driver. There you go, perfect. All right, back to the first Jeep that ever came up this obstacle. So let's see how it does. Hopefully it still knows how to do it. This is the Jeep we all grew up in. We're a family of 6. I'm the youngest of 6 kids. We grew up with 6 kids in that vehicle and a dog. My brother still has the Jeep today, with his kids passing that same stuff along, you know, so it's a family, it's a lifestyle. Now you can start cutting back driver.
A lot of families are into football and to sports or whatever. Well, this was our family. There weren't a lot of seatbelt laws back then, so we would take and we would put each child on the wheels of the Jeep, and then we put 2 in the back seat, and I was the only one that wore a seatbelt, and I had 1 baby on my lap. And a dog. We always had the dog, but we threw the dog out and let it run behind us as we went on our trips.
I would love to get everyone to drive up, and I'll spot anyone up there. I've been here and doing my job position for about 5 years now, but I was born and raised in it from, you know, little toddler crawling around the rocks with my little Jeeps to learning manual transmission at 8 years old to now taking some of the most well-known names out on Sand Hollow and giving them a ride around and showing them what we are and who we are.
For years, I worked pretty much solo. My wife ran the office, and I run the rest of the shop and whatever needed to be done. And with the kids coming in, it's been great. One, gives me an opportunity to spend the day with them, work with them, which is most times really good. Sometimes with family dynamics, it can be challenging at times, but most of the time is, you know, I love working with them. It's great to see their enthusiasm, their motivation, and I've loved to see things grow the way they've grown. And I love the fact that eventually I might be able to get out and spend more time out on the trailhead and wheeling than I have to spend in the shop. So I'm looking forward to that, and just have really enjoyed the opportunity to be able to work with my family and spend that quality time with them.
Yeah, just like that. Back driver just a hair, right there. Nice. A little bit more right there. Back driver, everything driver, everything driver. Right there. We're Southern Utah's premier 4-wheel drive shop. We do everything bumper to bumper, so we get you your lights, your bumpers, your skid plates, but what we specialize in is bumper to bumper Jeep JK builds. The Jeeps we have with us, there's a lot of Jeeps out here on the trails. You know, this is a big Jamboree. We got probably 100 Jeeps out of 300 Jeeps that are ours. You know, out here, I would say. The buggies, no, that's not our market. You know, ours, the Jeep, you know, we set a lot of Jeeps up. This Jeep's from Idaho. My personal, South Dakota, when we first met that guy, Florida plates when he met us. So it's all different states, and that's what a lot of our work is, you know. Guys coming to us because they know we're using it, building it on the trails actively.
Off-roading down here has grown considerably over the past several years. It's always been a hobby for a lot of people going years back from, you know, the old dune buggy days and, you know, the rancher getting his truck out to the ranch and things to more of a recreation. The area here has got a lot of retirement people, and especially the ones that are early retired, like to get out, like to see things, like to hike, and they love the area, and they found that, you know, a Jeep's a great way to get to many of these locations and see what's out there. And so the interest in off-roading, whether it be hardcore rock crawling or just getting out to see the petroglyphs, it's been growing considerably, and there's a lot of area. From here we can go every direction, north, south, east, and west, and find wonderful areas to Jeep in.
So I had a chance to talk to your family. We've been out here wheeling around here on Milts Mile. And from what I understand, your family, your dad, were the first ones when this was made into an off-road area to really come in here and make off-road trails.
Make it off-road. Before, it was always a recreational area. You got the sand dunes, you know, people know the sand dunes from the 70s, you know, and dune buggies. That's what my dad had. But as the years got on, we got the wheelies. West Rim used to be a dirt bike rally race course with a single track. My dad went in and plowed 4 wheels, and then as it got going, rock crawling started, and then Milts Mile started, slip log started. But Moab was around, but not in this area. People didn't know we had it as like it's still a discovery to a lot of people. You know, it's very unheard of, but it's great. You know, it's gonna be there in the future.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us for another episode of KrawlZone, and thank you, Bryce, for having us out on the trail.
Thanks for bringing us. It's been fun.
Awesome.
Let's do it again.
Absolutely. We look forward to it, and we'll see you next time on KrawlZone.